to hit record here. So if you guys can just mute your, there's like a little mute if you're on the computer or the phone, so we don't get the background noise. Andy. All right. Okay, I think you guys are all muted. We'll see what happens here. Hey guys, hi Angie. Okay, so just ask everyone to go ahead and mute. I'm gonna go ahead and I got the recording going. So hopefully, can everyone hear me okay? Thumbs up, good? Okay, all right, so I'm hearing a little bit of feedback. So everyone just double check. Just double check your, there we go, perfect. Okay, so this is really, this is a little bit different of a new consultant training than I normally do. I'm not gonna go through like step by step about Pulse and all of that kind of stuff because I think that's really something you can do on your own. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna start by talking about setting goals. Then we're gonna move into recruiting, and we're going to talk about duplication, some basics on how to hit 600, how to take a sale, and then we're going to just talk a little bit more, sorry, we're going to talk a little bit more about recruiting. Hang on just one second. My son came home, so craziness. All right, we're going to talk about recruiting, duplication, and then what do the leaders do in their business. So welcome. This is the first training I've done this way, so I'm really excited. And so I know some of you are on the phone, but some of you can see me on camera. So we're going to start by talking about setting goals and why setting goals are so important in your business. First of all, it gives you direction, okay? Goals then can also help keep you motivated, and it gives you something to work towards, okay? I'm not really a list maker, but I love having those things written down that I have to run after. And your goals should be clear, they should be concise, and if you're on my team, you know that I always talk about how you should always start with I will. So I will do something. Okay, so for example, I will hit 600 by the 6th of the month. Okay, that's a goal, and I write it out. I will add 2 new partners in January. I will have $2,500 in personal volume this month. Okay, then I also say my team will do $15,000 in volume. Okay, by putting those down, writing them down, and talking about them that way, you're taking ownership, okay? And so you should have both short-term goals and long-term goals. Your short-term goals. Oh. All right, I can hear somebody. I don't know who it is. Just make sure that you're muted, guys. Got 10 people on. Okay, mute all. I can mute everyone, then we don't have to worry about that. Okay. Let me find out where I am again. Okay, so by having those goals, you should have short-term goals and long-term goals. And the short-term goals can be for that day, they can be for the week. Then long-term goals can be for the month, the year, or 5 years, or even longer. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to move myself. So the beauty of working from home, you have to be flexible. So you guys all stay right here. This is why I need an office. Another one of my whys. All right, so you should have short-term goals and long-term goals. Your goals should be changing as your business changes. So you use your goals to steer your business and to coach your team, okay? I do not stop until my goals are met. And so, for example, what I like to do is I like to put them in, I went back to a regular planner. And I like to have them all written down in my planner. And so if I don't hit a goal, then I can move it to the next week or the next month. But it helps me then to stay focused. And the reason that I say that I don't stop until those goals are met, it is so easy at the end of the month to say, oh, I am one preferred customer order away from a mile, or I am $300 away from level 5 or something like that, and to just stop. And so I actually went from level 3 to level 5 in one night. And so that's why I just encourage you is to have those goals, have them written down, check in with yourself. How are you doing with those goals? What can you do to accomplish them? I think that is so important. Okay, so goals. Next, if you are new to the business, I don't want you to be afraid of recruiting, okay? When I started this business, my goal was to have this business run in the background while I did other things, okay? It was never intended to be my full-time job. And so I knew that the only way to do this was to build a team. And so I recruited before I had any idea about what I was doing or how to even run a team. So if you are waiting to recruit until you are so-called more ready or more knowledgeable, you're wasting time. And that's the honest truth, okay? So I just cringe when people are like, I want to recruit this person, but I don't know enough. No, that's not fun. That's wrong. You can learn with your team, and that's why you have an upline, so that your so everyone can be involved and everyone can learn together. All right. I was trying to figure out how come my phone connected to, so AJ must be on my phone. Anyway, also, you should not be waiting to tell people. You should be telling everyone you know about this business and why they would be a good fit for your team. People really, really love to hear if you write someone a message and say, you know what, you are so well connected, and I just love your leadership style. I love your passion. I love the way that you love to give back, or just something like that. Pick some qualities that you really admire about them and tell them. And it may not be right for them right now, but at least they know that you're watching them and that you just really think that they have something to add to your team. So I think that's so important too. I know we get so wrapped up in the whole automatic posting and the whole automatic messaging, but I think you really have to change it up, and you really have to write them that personal note. And so as soon as you get a prospect, we want to verbally vomit. We want to give them every single bit of information, and we want to just flood them with everything, and we want them to look at it, and we want them to just sign up to see what you saw from the beginning and run with it. And that's not the case. And so what I have found is that less is more, okay? So for example, if someone reaches out to you and they want to know more about Rodan and Fields, you can share your story if you have a story, or you can share your leader's story, or someone else in the company that you really, really admire. And then I highly, highly encourage that you get them on the phone with your sponsor. I think that we forget about doing that because so many people are so afraid of the phone, and we hide behind our social media. I am one of those people. I would much rather talk to you on Facebook or Instant Messenger than to get on the phone with you. Okay, it's just how I am. So it's very, very. It takes me a lot to have to do a phone call. But I will tell you, I did so many three-way calls. Anybody that would listen to what I was doing, I had no idea what I was doing. I just had signed up with this company, and I knew it was big. I didn't know anything else, and that was okay. And so I got people on the phone with my sponsor and myself, and I listened to the story over and over and over and over again. Now, we didn't sign every single person on that phone call, but it really, I think, attributed to my success as a leader and as a recruiter, because I was able to hear someone else talk about it and their story and the story of the company, and I was able to develop that. So my challenge to you, after we're done with this call, is I want you to find somebody in this, somebody who is not with Rodan and Fields, who might be a little bit curious about what you're doing. Okay, you may not even approach them about the business, but you just want to let them know, and then let them know that they would be doing a favor for you by listening to your upline leader. Okay. There is no shame in letting someone know that you are a new consultant and that you are learning and you don't want to give false information, so you want to call your friend in, okay? I don't ever think that you should talk about, calling your person your upline or anything like that, because then it sounds car salesy, or it sounds like you're trying to rope somebody in. So keep it simple and call it. Say, hey, you know what? I would love to get you on the phone with my friend Jen. We could do this time or this time. What works for you? Okay. And I've even done like a 3-way Facebook conversation. That third-party validation is so important, especially when you're new, because you don't have a story yet. You have a why, a burning why of what you want this business to do, but you don't have something to share yet. So you should always get somebody on the team, or someone that you admire on the phone with your consultant. So when someone asks me, Jen, I would really love to know more about Rodan and Fields, and if I maybe am not ready to quite approach them with getting them on the phone right away or getting them in a coffee, I like to send them Charlotte Korn's video. It's very basic. It talks about the products. It talks about the business opportunity. Done. Like, there's no fluff, straightforward. It's like 5-10 minutes. I love sending that. And then I set up a time then to follow up with them and ask what questions. So for example, I had 2 people reach out to me today, and I sent them a couple of things. I added them to my virtual event that I did the other day. Now tomorrow I will follow up with them and I will say, hey, I just wanted to see what questions you had. Love to set up a time to chat with you. And that's when we'll have our conversation or our coffee or get together for a drink this week. Okay. So that's just kind of how it rolls. Just kind of keep them on that cycle. Keep them, plant the seeds and follow up and follow up. When approaching people, I just touched on this, but I'm going to reiterate it. You want to make it personal, okay? So we give you that template and we say, get out there and message 200 people as fast as you can. But you also want to start by saying, you know what, I have really enjoyed seeing your kids' pictures on Facebook. I hope you're having a great new year. Your vacation looked so fun. I'm just jealous, or something like that. So throw in something like that that's going to kind of say, oh, you know what, she does, because does care about me as a person. And that's really what this is about. It's about building relationships, reestablishing relationships, okay? So make sure you make it personal, okay? Also, you can use this, and those of you that listen to Bob Heilig have heard him say this, about how you can always say, you know what, you are so well connected. I have an opportunity that I'm looking to build my team, or to build my team. It may not be something for you, but I'm sure confident you would know someone who wants to make some extra money, that you can direct them to me. And then that's when they start to think, well, why do you think that I would be interested? Okay. So you can kind of use that language as well. And then that shift in their thinking will happen. Also, I can't stress enough is don't start when you get to a certain goal in your business. Don't think, okay, I have 8 people. I'm a level 5 now. I can stop recruiting. Okay. Because I did that for a long time. I thought, oh, I've got my 10 consultants. I don't need to work on recruiting. And the truth is you need to be recruiting all the time. Okay. You constantly need to be recruiting and, building keeping your funnel full. Okay. Don't ever get complacent with that, because about only 1/3 of your actual organization will work. Okay. That is the honest to God truth. Okay. If you are reading The Slight Edge, they talk about that too. There's only a very small percentage of people who will actually commit to something and follow through. That's just how it is. It's just life. They don't want to put in the work. And so your goal then is to get them started from day one. Okay. If you have to chase them, as hard as it is, you have to move on. You have to love them from a distance, and you need to refocus and work with your runners. Okay. And so a leader and mentor in this company once told me, your job is really done once they buy their business kit, okay? And obviously we want them not to send it back because then you get money taken away. But if they don't see the opportunity like you want them to see it, you can't make somebody want it, okay? And you can't want it more for them than they want it for themselves, all right? It is not your job to make them see it. As much as you want to just grab them by the neck and say, are you kidding me? You can't do that, all right? It will drain you, and it will also, you'll be fighting a battle more than they want for themselves, okay? So I know that's really hard, and I know it's really devastating when you hear that somebody wants to stop selling on your team. I've had it happen. My very first business partner just recently stopped, and she was hitting $600 every single, it was not even hard for her to do. But life happens, and people move on, okay? So you need to just keep your funnel full and keep your team growing. All right. So the next thing that we keep hearing about, and you probably have heard Eileen Castro talk about this a lot lately, is duplication, okay? If you watch teams like Debbie Coder's team or Charlotte Korn or any of those teams, they are duplicating super, super fast. So they are recruiting and they're duplicating, okay? They are not wasting time getting people to work. And if you're on my team, you're going to see some changes coming, which I'm so super excited about. I'm going to start having an email. So once they get signed up, they will sign up with an email, and they're going to get a task every single day for 30 days on how to build their business, okay? And because the goal is you want them to be working right off the bat, all right? Duplication is the key to this business. You can recruit all day long, but if they don't work, your business isn't going to grow, okay? So what you want them to do is the ideal situation in this business would be to recruit someone and then have them recruit someone that same day or right after. Okay, I love it when that happens because then they're already building, a successful team, and you can train them all at the same time. So when you are recruiting, have them immediately start to think of who they would love to join them on this journey and encourage them not to hesitate. I have 2 people right now who are waiting for their tax return. They have been talking to me for months, and they are so excited. So guess what? I am kind of working with them right now. I'm giving them books to read. I'm giving them little tasks because if they really, truly want this, they're going to do it, okay? And when they're ready to sign, they're going to be ready to build a team, and they're going to be ready to approach people with products because they're already building their lists, okay? And I know some of you doing the Bob Heilig training have heard him even talk about that it's so important. If you have somebody that's excited and they don't have the funds yet to invest in the company, that's okay. Give them tasks, and if they do it, keep working with them because once it comes time for them to go, they're going to run. If you also want to be the leader that you want to duplicate on your team. So if you are not hosting events, your team will not host events. If you're not doing virtual events, your team's not going to do virtual events. If you're not training your team will not train, okay? If you are not motivating and posting on your team page every single day and becoming that leader, you're not going to make those leaders. I will never forget when I had a handful of people on my team, and Eileen again had said something to me, and I said, well, should I create a team page? And she laughed and she said, well, you're becoming a leader really fast. I think it's time. And I was like, oh yeah. So then I just changed it up, and I was just moving into that role. So it happens very, very fast. You can become not part of this business and a leader the next day. That's the beauty of this business, okay? So you want to be careful that you're not reinventing the wheel. You want to make it easy to duplicate with your team. And so what I love is that I have a getting started guide for my team. And it is, very step-by-step. What do you do first, second, third, fourth, fifth? And that's what, we shoot out. I have a training call that's set up right away that you can listen to the first day and get going, okay? So just make sure that whatever I'm doing is not stuff that I've reinvented. It's what the leaders before me have already done, and I just went to work, okay? Now, there are things that I do that I tweak and things like that, but definitely it is not, you don't want to reinvent the wheel. All right, so now we're moving into why hitting 600 is so important. Okay, so now you have this team and you're working on duplication, and now you're trying to figure out, well, why is 600 so important? Well, 600 is the name of the game in this business. And so a lot of people, when you're getting ready to sign up, say, are there any quotas, or is there anything that's going to happen to me? Well, truthfully, no. But 600 is the name of the game, and this prevents a rollover from happening. Now, if you're not familiar with a rollover, what a rollover would be, so I'm just going to use Angie's on the line. So let's say Angie was one of my directs, and then Angie signed Barb. Well, Angie didn't hit her 600, so she used her grace. You get one grace per contract year. Okay, so if your anniversary is like September 1st, you get one every calendar year. So she doesn't hit 600, uses her grace. The next month, she does not hit 600. Barb would then roll over Angie and become my direct now. So she's like a sister to Angie instead of being under Angie. So Angie is no longer getting paid on Barb, okay? And when that happens, that's pretty devastating to people. And I've, honest to God, have had people had a rollover happen for $50, okay? And I've told them, and I have helped them, and you just need to be aware of that when you're growing your team, that some people just don't get it. And if they don't get it, it's going to happen, okay? The benefit to you then as a leader is then that becomes another leg for you. Okay, but it is devastating, and you're leaving money on the table. What if Barb became $1 million earner and was a one-time signed up under Angie? Angie would probably have a very hard time with that. Okay, some things to remember. Once you start building a team and building your customer base, that 600 becomes easier and easier to get, because once you start building PCs, they're going to reorder every 60, 90 days. So their money, or their order goes into your 600. When you start building a team, their monthly consultant order will go into your 600. Okay, so if I sign 5 consultants, they're $24.95 and they're $80 in product. Around $100 goes into my 600. I don't have to worry anymore. So some of you might be like, well, why is this person hitting 600 in their second day of the month? Well, it's because they have people signed up under them who have their CRP that processes earlier in the month, okay? And so let's say that you're going along and you signed up, let's say this is your first month. So January is your first full month and February is your second full month. Let's say you're really PC heavy in January, but February you're not. You want to heavily recruit PCs in that February month, because then you're going to be kind of at an imbalance. Are you done?
Yeah.
How did it go?
Yes.
Okay. I'll call you when it's done.
Okay.
I'm sitting up here because, yeah. So my husband's laughing at me because I'm sitting in the hallway. Anyway, so you want to, do what you can to not ever have that rollover happen. All right. So how to hit 600. If you're a brand new consultant, how are you going to do that? I remember seeing that number and I could not figure out how in the heck I was going to do that. That was very, very overwhelming to me. And so, whoops, hang on guys. What I want you to remember is that's one business partner at $695, okay? That's like 3 roller kits. So if there's a month where you're at like 500 or 550 or something, and you can't get a whole nother PC, think about, well, what can I do then to get to 600? That's a time when you want to run a flash sale on your tanners, on your lotion, on your sunscreen, or your eye cream. And when I say flash deal, what many consultants do is they have another account that's like under their husband's name or their kid's name, okay? And they order anything other than that $80 in product in that account, okay? So the other day I ran a flash deal on Sunless Tanners. I charged them $27 because I know it cost me about $2 to ship, okay? So I did $27 to your door. So I collected the $27. I use Square Cash. Uh-oh. It says my free meeting's ending in 10 minutes. So we're going to have to step it up here. I don't even know. They want to charge me $14.99 per month for unlimited minutes. So I guess I might be doing that. Anyway. Goodness. Technology. So basically, I hope it doesn't kick us out here. Okay. I lost my train of thought. So moving on, we'll come back to that. So flash sale, okay? Flash sale is a good way to, you know, hit that 600 and get with your upline leader. They can help you and figure out the specifics of that. The next thing, I got a bite. What do I do? Okay. Those of you that have been on my team know that I do not send them to my website. I take the information from them and I, hang on just a second here. I take the information. Okay. Amen. All right. So I take their information and their order and I place it for them. And the reason for that is because what I found is that people were not going to my website and ordering, okay? They were getting distracted by life. They were forgetting to finish their order after they put it in the cart. They were just doing all kinds of things like that. And so when I started changing this changed my business completely, okay? So what I do is if I don't know the answer to what they need, I do the solution tool for them. I ask them those 4 questions of the solution tool. If you're not familiar with the solution tool, it's on your .com, and it just is 4 questions that asks you kind of what concerns are and things like that. Then I send them only pictures of the regimen kits that were meant for them. So let's say I did the solution tool for them and it was reverse. Reverse is what was for them. I sent them a picture of reverse and I sent them a picture of reverse with the roller, okay? And I explained the price difference and the savings. I only give them preferred customer pricing and I give them results, pictures that were tailor-made. So I'm not going to send, oh my dog, a 90-year-old a picture necessarily of like a 12-year-old, okay? You're not going to want to, if you're working with a man, you're going to want to try to find a man. You say hi to everyone. There, see you. You want to try to send pictures related to the population that you're working with. Please stop. All right. So the language that I use is perfect. Send me your address, phone number, email, and credit card information. You can do that through Facebook or you can text it to me. I'll get you all set up. And then I just explained to them about that $19.95 one-time fee, which gives them 10% off and free shipping always, okay? And I explained that shipping alone would cost them $15. So the first time they're going to save. Then sometimes I give them cash back or I give them a free product to offset that $19.95. But that changed my business when I actually asked for the sale. Grayson, stop. All right, so just remember that you need their credit card information, a mailing address, an email, and a phone, okay? Then I send them a letter that has the information about how to log in, what I set up for their password. It talks a little bit about how to use the products and to let me know and take a before and after picture, okay?
Mom, stop it.
All right, so the next thing. Sorry, thanks, Lisa. I was still on mute. I'm like mompreneur here, trying to have the dog in my face and the kids. So, Oh, Lord. Someday I'll look back and laugh at this, right, guys? All right. Anyway. All right. So next, income producing activities. Those of you who are on the income producing activity site will already probably know all of this, but the important thing is that you want to be doing something for your business every single day, okay? So things that I do is I post every single day about Rodan and Fields. It might be about a product. It might be about a story. It might be something about the business. It might be a phone call. But every day I'm posting about Rodan and Fields, okay? Even when I am gone, I have an automatic poster that's going to post for me. I have Buffer. I have Hootsuite. Whatever you love, I have it set up for me, okay? And so the reason for that is because if you are posting about Rodan and Fields and posting about Rodan and Fields and showing passion, and then all of a sudden you stop, people are not going to want to join you. They're not going to want to buy from you. They're not going to trust you. They're watching you right now to see if you're passionate. They're watching to see if you are serious about your business. And if that's why you need to be consistent, okay? And let's see. So whatever your posting schedule is, make sure you do it consistently. All right, so the next thing then is, if you are very new to this business, your first challenge is to send 200 messages, okay? If you do not have 200 Facebook friends, then it's time to work on adding Facebook friends, okay? Start reconnecting with people. Now, if I add somebody on Facebook, I'm not going to immediately start messaging them, okay? I'm going to add them. I'm going to let them watch me, all right? So don't make that mistake. Also, when you're sending your 200 messages, don't send it as a mass message, okay? Send it as an individual message. And I'm telling you these things are because these are things that leaders or even myself have done. You're so excited you want to share this business, but you need to do it the right way, okay? So you can break it up. You can do 5 people a day or 20 people a week or 20 people a day, but your first challenge really is to message 200 people, okay? You can use Facebook Messenger, texting, Voxer. If you know what Voxer is like a speaker walkie-talkie thing, or Facebook Messenger voice, okay? If you listen to Bob Heilig the other day, he was talking about get on your Facebook and just start recording messages to people. I did that the other day, and I was able to knock out way more than I could typing. The problem with that is not everybody checks it or knows how to check it. So some of them were not opened, or I don't see that they were opened, okay? So that's something that's going to come with time, but that's another way to connect with people, to build those relationships, and for them to actually hear the passion in your voice. So try it. It's awesome. All right, so I want you to remember that when you are messaging, okay, I have less than a minute, so I'm probably going to have to stop recording. Hang on just a second.